there is a potential for some more commitments on the horizon, one of which is a running back. So let's go ahead and get into those now, because August is really the last big month in the recruiting cycle now. You occasionally get some surprises on signing day, but for the most part, I would not get my hopes up on anybody potentially flipping to Tennessee on signing day. So the first one we have to keep an eye on, and he commits on Sunday. This isn't even a 2026 kid, by the way. This is a 27 kid. Four-star quarterback Jace Johnson will be committing on August 3rd. I can't lie, I don't know a ton about him just because he's a 27 kid, and that's still an entire cycle away. But when you're building up these classes, quarterbacks are generally what you build it around. You know, you look at the 26 class, who was the first recruit in that class for Tennessee, Faison Brandon, and he committed about this time of year in 2024. So this is usually when you see that first wave of kids in the next class start to commit, and this would be an important get for Tennessee should it really start to try and recruit its 27 class here in the next month or so.
Yeah, with J.C. Johnson, like I haven't seen much on him as well. I mean, but he's listed as a 4-star, which, you know, is subject to change with how young he is. But I will say Tennessee seems to be planning for a long-term future here at quarterback. Like, I honestly like what Josh Heupel's been doing. I mean, here we are with Joey Aguilar seemingly going to be the starting quarterback for the season, but then you have Merklinger, who is a 4-star, right behind him. And then you got George McIntyre, who used to be a 5-star, got bumped down. And then like Faison Brandon coming in next year's class. And then now we got Johnson here. And he's possibly coming to Tennessee too. So like Tennessee seems to be looking long-term at the quarterback position, which I think is very good because you know how much Josh Heupel likes his quarterbacks. I mean, everywhere he's been, their quarterbacks have found success, whether it was with like Landry Jones at Oklahoma, or even like, it sounds funny to say now, but like Drew Lock at Missouri, who did really well there. And then not to mention the UCF quarterbacks of Dylan Gabriel, who is like in Heisman contention this past season with Oregon. So, I mean, Josh Heupel knows how to find quarterbacks. And I like that a lot of these recruits are wanting to come to Tennessee because, you know, I don't think I've ever seen this much success, or at least in terms of recruiting quarterbacks, since Josh Heupel's gotten here. I mean, Tennessee's had a few good quarterbacks in the past with, like Tyler Bray and Josh Dobbs in like recent memory, but like they weren't as high of recruits as Faison Brandon or even like George McIntyre. So, I mean, it's pretty exciting to see that. And, you know, maybe Tennessee's planning on a long-term run of success, and it would be fun to see.
Yeah, you did leave a couple of notable ones out of there. You left another Milton out of there, Mackenzie Milton.
Oh, yeah.
Who, you know, he was Heupel's first quarterback at UCF. I guess he carried over from the Frost era, but of course the transfer portal wasn't that big back then. And then here's a real throwback for you, Jordan. Utah State, Chucky Keaton, back in 2015, I believe. He was there.
Yeah.
So
and he put up.
That's like one of the first big ones he worked with.
Yeah, and he was pretty good too. Like I think we talked about it recently. He almost upset Auburn, wasn't that right? Like,
yeah, 2011.
Yeah, I mean, like Chucky Keaton was even good, and I mean, like not necessarily your traditional quarterback. He got moved to tight end, I think. Maybe played a little bit of fullback in the NFL. But remember Blake Bell? That was also under Josh Heupel as well. So I mean, he's had some notable quarterbacks in his time, and he's seemingly keeping this trend going with Tennessee.
He can do it with Legend Bay too if he really wants to. You know, you can use him as a quarterback in some packages, but you flip him around to wide receiver for the most part. Just keep the opponent on your toes. So that's one thing that would be pretty cool to watch in the Heupel era down the road, and just trying to use a guy like Legend Bay to your advantage. So that's the first one we have that is committing here soon. These next two are both 2026 kids, and they are both some really big fish. So fast forward about 2 weeks from Jace Johnson's commitment date to August 18th. That is a Tuesday, and that is the day Savion Hyder will make his decision between Tennessee and It sounds like Michigan is the other school that is really contending for Savion Hyder from Richmond, Virginia, which is an area that Tennessee has recruited a lot over the years. Virginia specifically is one of those states Tennessee recruits a lot. I don't feel like quite as talent heavy as North Carolina, but it's another one of those states where they don't have SEC football, yet they do have a lot of talent. So some of these SEC programs that are a little further east in the league are able to take some of that talent in. And it would be a huge get for Tennessee just because you look at the way the Josh Heupel offense functions, and if you were to plug in a talent like that at running back, it would be huge. And you're just upping your production. You already saw it with Dylan Sampson. Who knows what you could do with a guy like that?
Yeah, and I mean, like, I feel like no one truly knows where Hyder's going to go. I mean, I know he's said things on Twitter, like refuting things that like some reporters and stuff have said. So, I mean, we don't know yet whether or not he's going to go to Tennessee or Michigan, but I would like to say, I mean, why wouldn't you want to go to Tennessee after the production of Dylan Sampson last year, like coming out of nowhere and then, breaking the single season touchdown record and then, becoming an all SEC offensive player of the year. And then not to mention too, what like on as far as Michigan goes, I mean, Donovan Edwards, I mean, I didn't keep up with him too much, but he seemingly had a down year. And he was like even on the cover of College Football 25. I mean, so there was a lot of hype going around with him. And then if you compare Donovan Edwards' season to Dylan Sampson's last year, and I'm not saying that that's everything, because of course money talks in the era of NIL and everything too. But I mean, if you're wanting to put up some good stats, like I'm sure that Hyder would want to do, because I'm sure he wants to play at the next level at the NFL, then why not come to Tennessee? Because Heupel's had all the running backs have found success so far. I mean, even Jalen Wright and Jabari Small were like pretty decent backs for Tennessee. And like, I mean, getting a 5-star running back, I mean, that's not what Dylan Sampson was, but I mean, yet he broke all of these records and became one of Tennessee's best running backs ever. So, I mean, if I was Hyder, I would at least, strongly consider going to Tennessee. And that's what he's doing, because it seems like it's down to Tennessee and Michigan. But I'm excited for that announcement coming up soon, because it could be a huge gift for Tennessee. And then that would be like the third 5-star that they would have gotten in this class. And like, so, I mean, and then, everyone's joking around, like saying Tennessee's like 3-star university or whatever, getting the recruits. But I mean, look at it right here. If Hyder commits Tennessee, then you got 3 5-stars. And then I think like 6 4-stars that are already currently committed. So, I mean, he's got a potential to completely change this class around and then, bump Tennessee up into a top 10 recruiting class. And then, there's still a couple other guys Tennessee could get too that could even boost that even more.
All right, so staying within the same week, jumping to August 22nd, and this is another big fish from Virginia as well. I believe Richmond is also where he's from too. Darius Gray will make his commitment, the 5-star interior offensive lineman, top-ranked offensive lineman in the class, at least interior offensive lineman, and it's a 5-team race there. You've got Tennessee, South Carolina, Clemson, LSU, and Ohio State in the mix. Not really sure who the favorite is at this point, but it would be amazing if Tennessee could get a 5-star tackle and a 5-star interior offensive lineman in the class, just because we haven't seen this staff really develop offensive linemen just yet, because we've seen a lot of the guys that have come through here. They're Pruitt holdovers, guys that were in his system, but once they got with this new staff, it worked out well. But we haven't seen very many guys that have been recruited from high school and be plugged into this system. Like, I want to say this may be the first year where you see any of those guys starting with whoever is at center, be it Satterwhite, Moore, or whoever else. And then, of course, David Sanders at right tackle. So that would be a huge get for Tennessee. And, again, another potential 5-star get for Tennessee in the class.
Yeah, I mean, I like that Tennessee has been targeting offensive line in this recruiting class because, like I mentioned earlier, it's been a little bit of an issue, whether it was on Nico or not. Like offensive line has been an issue for Tennessee's team. And, getting 2 5-star offensive linemen, I can't recall a time Tennessee's ever done that in a recruiting class. It may be the first time ever. So, I mean, I think he could be a huge get for Tennessee. And, I haven't seen really any of his film, but I mean, just the sheer fact that he's the number one interior offensive lineman in the country. I mean, he's slightly underweight, but I mean, like, I don't think that's a big issue. I mean, most of the time you see these offensive linemen bulk up pretty quickly. So, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I'm excited about it. But like you said, it's like a 5-team race. So, and there's some other pretty heavy hitters there. Like, it's going to be difficult with Ohio State. And I know LSU always recruits pretty decently well too. So I feel like there's a little bit more up in the air with Gray committing to Tennessee, but we'll have to wait and see. But man, like I'm excited seeing just all these offensive linemen getting targeted because I think it's, the offensive line is arguably the most important thing to a football team outside of your quarterback. And even then, your quarterback's not going to be successful if he doesn't have time to throw the football.